In this introductory to video editing tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to use free software, which is DaVinci Resolve, to edit a video with no prior experience. So if you are experienced in editing or you've seen some of our other videos, maybe this video isn't for you. This is for complete beginners or people that are transitioning, let's say, from a different program. But it's going to be a full beginner's video, and I think you're going to learn a lot from this. If you are new here, we have over 200 videography related videos, so lots of content for you to learn from. And if you want to know any of the music or the gear we use to make our videos, I've left all links in the description. Let's jump in. To get started, open DaVinci Resolve and you will see this start window. If this is the first time you're opening Resolve, you're likely not going to have any projects created. So we're going to go ahead and create a new project. You can name it whatever you want. We'll just call ours New Edit 1. And then I would leave the media location in the default, although you can change that if you want. Let's go to Create. Now at the bottom, there are several different tabs. The first one is your Media tab. I basically never use this, so I would recommend not even using this. The next one is the Cut tab. Similar to the Media tab, I never use this. I think both of those tabs shouldn't even exist, to be honest, because when you're editing, you want things to be efficient and streamlined. So basically anything you can do in there, you can also do in this third tab, which is the Main Edit tab. So I always start here. Down here is your timeline. This is where you'll add footage once you have it in DaVinci Resolve. But to get footage in DaVinci Resolve, you need to bring it into this section here. To do that, we can Command Tab or Control Tab on the PC over to a folder where you have footage, and we will click and hold and then tab back into Resolve and drag it where we see the plus symbol here and let it go. We're going to get a little pop-up here that says change project frame rate. In most cases, you want to hit change because you do want your footage to match your project. But in some cases, if you're more of an advanced editor, you can hit don't change, but in that case, you wouldn't be watching this tutorial. So let's hit change. You can see that the media section up here has populated with the one clip that we brought in. It'll give you some details like the frame rate, the resolution, and how long it is, as well as the title. Then to get it into the edit and to start actually making some changes to the footage, you simply just click and drag it, and then you want to line it up right at the beginning. Now you can drop it and then drag it to the beginning just to make sure that you are starting on the first frame. This clip that I brought in does not have any audio, but if it did, then the audio would be filled down here. You can see that this is video 1. That's one track of video. To keep things simple, we won't be doing anything with audio, but if you did bring in a clip with audio, when you're making changes like a cut into the footage, it will affect the audio as well. So this red line here, if we click and drag at the top, we can drag through our footage and sort of get an idea of the different parts of the clip. And then above here, we have a whole bunch of different buttons. This last one here is the zoom for shrinking down just visually in our timeline so we can see the whole clip. Or if we want to get a closer look, we can scale in just to see more of the starting frames at a bigger size. So I tend to zoom out just so I can see the full clip that we're working on. As you can see here, there's actually different scenes in this single clip, which doesn't happen too often, but I exported the series of this clip in a previous project to be like this, just so I can pull in a bunch of clips as one. If you brought in a bunch of footage, you'll likely have a series of different clips all split in between. Now, if you ever get stuck with something, there is up in help a search bar, and you can type in some things. Like let's say I want to use the detect scene. I can just type in detect, and then I click this, and then this will automatically analyze this clip and do cuts for me to show the different scenes. And you can see it did a perfect job. Now, if you brought clips in or are moving things around and you have a black space like this, you can simply zoom in, click in between, and then hit delete on your keyboard, and then it'll ripple, delete, or pull everything from the right closer to the clip. At the very bottom, there's a little scroll bar here if you want to move across, and you can also click on it and then right click, ripple, delete if you want to do it that way as well. Let's zoom back out. Now to make our own cut, or what's called an edit, then you can use a different tool. We are on the main selection tool, but you can use the blade edit. And then wherever you click, will make a cut. And then to select all the footage, you can click and drag on nothing, select, and then move them all at once. And then to trim the beginning or end of the clip, you can click on the selection tool again, go to the start here, and you don't want to be on the top, you want to be in the middle where that icon appears, and then click and drag, and that will trim the clip. And then from there we can click, hit delete on our keyboard, and ripple edit. So it's pretty straightforward. If you want another layer, you can just bring it up there and move it above. So now we have 2 tracks of video, and we cannot see the one below it because this one is blocking it. But if we click this and then go up to where the inspector is at the top, that will open up this whole panel and give you a whole bunch of options. Under the video tab here and transform, we can go to zoom, and we can zoom that back to, like, let's say around 50%. And now you can see that we have the top clip at 50% and then the bottom clip still at the full frame in the background. And it's pretty straightforward in terms of like layering clips. The clips above will have a hierarchy and be prioritized visually over the clips on the bottom. There's also a ton of other options here, like cropping, if you want to just crop with the left and then the right, and then go back up to transform, you can move it around to wherever you want. And now this is kind of like a streaming or gaming type setup where you'd have the person talking small in the top left, and then you could have like this background footage layer 1 as your gaming content. And then when you play, both of course are videos, both are showing the videos, but one is small in the corner, and this could be a cool way to display your videos. Besides that, you have several other options, like you can stabilize your footage, correct certain things, and so on. If you did have audio, you could select your audio and go to the audio. If you make a mistake, you can go to Edit, Undo, or Command Z or Control Z on the PC. So we'll do that a bunch of times to get back to full. Okay, then if you want to add some effects, and if you don't have this, you can just click the effects up here. That will turn on this area. There's a whole bunch of different effects here. So if we go to titles, you can see you can add some like lower third titles, and you just click and drag them and place them right above your footage. And you make them as long as you want by dragging them, just like we did by trimming footage. And then now on this, we have the title based on the preset here. And then up here, we can make the change. This will be for the top, and then for the bottom text. Very straightforward, tons of different options to make all your changes. You can add a whole bunch of other generators, or you can go into effects. And there's, hundreds of different options in here, like resolve effects. You can add different blurs or different changes to color. We have tutorials dedicated on just like the beauty effects or the relight effect or dozens and dozens of other things. If you want to learn more and get a deep dive into this stuff, then definitely check that stuff out and subscribe. We have so many videos. But for this one, we're just going to keep things very basic, as I mentioned. So you can continue along and go to all of the different effects. But there are tons and tons of different things here, like, edge detect, emboss, mirror, the pencil, or the prism blur. And you simply just drag it and drop it if you want to actually add it to the clip. And then you can, over here in the effects tab, now that we have an effect applied, you'll have some other options and you can make some changes. You can increase the blur, etc. If you had audio, you can select it and change the audio volume right here if you find it too loud. Generally speaking, if it shows up with red at the very top, that means it's peaking and it's set too loud. And you can just bring this volume down until it does not peak anymore. The other thing you can do is, let's trim this clip, and we'll trim this clip, and then we'll bring them closer together. We'll go up to Toolbox on the left here and go to Video Transitions. And under the video transition, there are many, many, many different transitions. Most of them are quite cheesy, but let's say circle spin. We'll put that here, and then let's see what that does. Realistically, you're probably not going to use most of these, but let's try the glitch one. So it's sort of glitch transitions, and you get the idea. If you just want a simple cross dissolve, that is your general fade that just goes between the clips. That's probably the most used transition. So once you've built out, titles and you have your audio, maybe you've added some music, you've adjusted the volume, you've put on some effects, you've trimmed all the clips and got rid of all the stuff you don't need. Now you can either choose to export your video because you're finished, or you can choose to change the color. That is done in a different tab, which is done over here, that's called the color tab. But before we get there, I just want to talk a bit about the Fusion tab. So let's go over to Fusion. This is an entire beast of its own. This is where you can do advanced visual effects work or motion graphics. And we do have several in-depth tutorials on this, like advanced stabilizing footage or 3D text that tracks to your footage and more, so you can check those out. But for someone just starting out, I would avoid this page entirely. It is extremely intimidating, and most of the stuff you will click on won't do anything, and you'll like pull your hair out trying to figure out why that is. There are hundreds and hundreds or maybe even thousands of different options, and it can get quite in-depth, especially when you start to do all the advanced creations with nodes. I'll touch on nodes in the next tab, but yeah, under the Fusion page, I would avoid that for now because you can complete an edit without ever going on this page, and that's probably best for a beginner. So let's go to the color page, and this can get a little bit intimidating because now it's like, what the heck is this thing? Essentially, this is called a node, and right now it just represents your footage. You have your starting point, which is your input, and then you have your output. In the middle of that, you have your footage, and it is connected with those lines. And this, so again, this is called just a node. A node is basically just like a placeholder that holds your footage that you can make changes to. And on the color page, this has extremely advanced options like tracking and a whole bunch of different qualifier, color selections, warpers, slices, the curves. You can turn on like histograms and, go very, very in depth with color correction and grading. But again, just for beginners, select your node. You don't have to create any additional nodes. You can simply just start to color correct. And then you can go down here and just experiment with the different wheels down here to get a change that you like. So generally speaking, the left side is the dark spots. You'll affect the dark areas of your clip the most. And then your gain is the bright spots. As I go up, the white wall gets brighter and starts to change color. So you can make some changes to your footage this way. If you move something in a way that you don't like, you can just double click and that will reset it. You have your temperature. This is like the main color of the entire clip. So for temperature, we can make it more blue, or we can go over more orange, and then we can double click temp to reset it. And the goal of color correction typically is you just want to get the white tones in your footage to show up as actually white, because that is sort of the main balance that helps the other colors look accurate when you're doing color correction. So let's change the color to a little more orange, and that looks a little more natural. Or if you want, you can literally just hit the A for automatic, and then that did an automatic job. For most footage, the auto balance will work really well for coloring, and from there you can just make some subtle changes if you want, like add less contrast or more contrast to get more of a dramatic look, and then you can add some more saturation. And if you want to see the before and after, you go up here to the bypass button. So that's before and that's after. So you can see it's quite a big difference, and that is at a high level what color correction can do. We've only color corrected this clip, but if you want to go to like the next clip in your scene, then they're all going to be layered out here. So you can go to, let's say this one, and then from there, you can make your changes, add some contrast, maybe go up with the gamma on into more of the reds, and you're good to go. There's another tab called Fairlight. This is where you can make some audio changes, but again, like the Fusion tab, there is quite a lot you can do here. And if you completely leave this alone, then the volume changes for the entire track that you make here or on the individual clip will carry over to the last page, which is the deliver page, and this is where you export the video. So again, as a beginner, I would avoid using this page as well, but you can get the idea. You have your timeline here, which represents the timeline in your edit page, but it's just for the audio. So let's say you had like 3 audio tracks plus music, you would see all that here. And then you can, click the clip, then, add effects at the top here. And all of these effects are specific for making changes with just audio. Okay, since we're not working with audio today and generally speaking, for beginners, we won't be using the Fairlight page. Let's go to our Deliver page, which is where we export videos. At the top here, you will see a bunch of presets. We can scroll through them. And most of the time, the presets up here will be exactly what you need to upload a high quality video to like YouTube, for example. So we can click on YouTube, or we can hit the drop down button and choose a different resolution. Let's say we are working with 4K. In that case, we would do 2160. Or if we're working with HD footage, we can keep it to 1080. And then here, I would leave everything the same, except I would give your file a name and then click Browse to set it to an area where the file will be saved on your computer. Once that is done, you go down to Add to Render, and then that will take your edit and drop it into the render queue. From here, you just have one more click, which is Render All, and that will begin rendering your entire project as one final clip using the preset that you selected. And then you're done. You can go on your computer and watch it. That one saved it as an MP4 file, which is the most standard universal video format there is. And you can take that file and upload it to YouTube or wherever you want, and it's going to be high quality. Now, one last thing, let's go to the edit page. If you do find that you're working with footage that, like for example, this is 4K footage, but my timeline is 1080p. If you wanted, before you do everything, you can right click the timeline, go over to timeline settings, and you can uncheck use project settings and then make your timeline resolution 4K, for example, and then go to OK. And then that way your timeline resolution matches your footage. But if you know you don't need 4K footage, even though everything was filmed in 4K and you're only going to need like an HD export, then in that case, you can just keep your timeline as we had it as 1080p. And then again, when you go to the Deliver page to export it, your delivery will be the HD. Right now, because we just set it to 4K, now it does show 4K, then it'll automatically be updated here. But if you want, you can still, in the resolution, change it to whichever one you want. Typically, you have your HD, 1920 by 1080, or you have your 3840 by 2160, which is 4K. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful on giving you an introduction to editing in DaVinci Resolve. It is such an amazing program, especially the free version. But if you did want to upgrade, we are not sponsored by them at all. But if you did want to upgrade, we are big fans of it. They do have a studio version, which is a one-time fee, jam-packed with features. And yeah, we can't recommend it enough. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos from us in the future. We have over 200 videography related videos, so lots of content for you to learn from. And again, if you want to know any of the music or the gear we use to make our videos, I've left all links in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.